The Europa mining colony glittered like a string of pearls against the icy surface of Jupiter's moon. Through the reinforced windows of the colony's observation deck, Sarah Chen watched the automated mining rigs methodically extract rare earth elements from beneath the frozen crust. At 16, she had spent most of her life in this colony, where her mother served as chief administrator. The gentle hum of the life support systems had been her lullaby since childhood. Still watching the rigs, her mother, Administrator Lisa Chen, asked as she joined her daughter at the window. "You know, when I was your age, I never imagined we'd be mining other worlds." Sarah smiled but kept her eyes on the horizon, where Jupiter's massive form dominated the sky. "And I can't imagine being confined to just Earth," she replied. "Did you see the latest readings from Section 7? The new mineral deposits could power Earth's quantum networks for decades." The colony had grown from a small research outpost to humanity's most successful extraplanetary mining operation. 5,000 people now called it home, living in a network of interconnected domes and underground facilities. They were proud of what they'd built here, turning the hostile environment of Europa into a testament to human ingenuity. The first warning came from the long-range sensors. Deep space probes detected unusual energy signatures approaching the solar system. The scientific community was ecstatic. First contact seemed imminent, but Administrator Chen felt uneasy. 20 years of managing the colony had taught her to trust her instincts. "Begin emergency protocols," she ordered, much to the surprise of her staff. "Get everyone to the shelter levels." "Mom, it's probably just a scientific expedition," Sarah protested, but she could see the worry in her mother's eyes. The Zircari warships emerged from faster-than-light travel just outside Mars' orbit. Their ships were massive crystalline structures that seemed to bend light around them, making them appear almost organic. They made no attempt at communication. The first attack came without warning. A beam of concentrated energy cut through Mars' orbital defense station like it was paper. The station's destruction was broadcast live across every screen in the solar system. 300 lives extinguished in an instant. In the Europa colony, Administrator Chen watched in horror as the automated defense systems around Jupiter began to fail one by one. "Sarah, get to the shelters now," she commanded, her voice carrying the weight of desperate authority. The colony's emergency sirens began their haunting wail as families rushed to the underground bunkers. Sarah helped guide younger children through the corridors, trying to keep them calm despite her own fear. Through the windows, she could see the crystalline ships approaching, their surfaces shimming with otherworldly energy. The Zircari's second attack targeted Europa directly. Their weapons easily penetrated the colony's shields, designed to protect against radiation and meteorites, not advanced alien technology. The first dome shattered, its atmosphere venting into space. Emergency bulkheads slammed shut, but the damage was catastrophic. Administrator Chen stood at her command post, coordinating evacuation efforts even as the colony crumbled around her. "Get word to Earth," she ordered her communication officer. "Tell them." She never finished the sentence. A direct hit to the command center ended any chance of further orders. Sarah felt the explosion from 3 levels below. She knew, with the terrible certainty that comes in moments of crisis, that her mother was gone. But there was no time for grief, not with dozens of frightened children looking to her for guidance. The colony's automated systems captured everything. The ruthless efficiency of the attack, the desperate attempts to save lives. The moment when Sarah Chen, daughter of the colony's administrator, led 37 children to safety in the deepest bunker, even as the structures above them were systematically destroyed. The Zircari never landed, never attempted to take resources or territory. They simply destroyed everything humans had built on Europa and moved on, leaving the shattered remains of the colony as a clear message: stay on your own world. But they had fundamentally misunderstood humanity. The destruction of the Europa colony wasn't received as a warning. It was taken as a declaration of war. The images of Sarah Chen, barely more than a child herself, emerging from the bunker days later with 37 survivors, became a symbol, not of defeat, but of human resilience. As rescue ships arrived from Earth, they found Sarah organizing the survivors, using the colony's emergency systems to keep everyone alive. She refused to leave until every survivor was evacuated, standing vigil over the ruins of humanity's greatest off-world achievement. The message she sent to Earth was brief, but would become legendary. They thought they could break us. They don't understand. Humans don't break. We rebuild, we adapt, and we remember. The Zirikari had made a fatal miscalculation. They had assumed that destroying humanity's most advanced colony would force a retreat. Instead, they had united Earth's nations in a way nothing else could have. As Sarah Chen and the other survivors were brought back to Earth, the planet was already mobilizing for war. The Zirikari would soon learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't in its technology or its resources. It was in its ability to face impossible odds and refuse to submit. They had killed thousands, including Sarah's mother, but in doing so, they had awakened something they couldn't understand: the indomitable human spirit of resistance. The United Nations emergency session in Geneva was unlike anything in human history. On the massive screens surrounding the assembly hall, the destruction of the Europa colony played on a constant loop. Sarah Chen's final message echoed through the chambers: humans don't break. We rebuild, we adapt, and we remember. General Maya Rodriguez stood before the assembled leaders of Earth, her uniform bearing the newly created insignia of the Earth Defense Force. The room fell silent as she began her presentation, her voice carrying the weight of humanity's future. The Zirikari believed they could intimidate us into submission, she stated, her eyes scanning the room. Instead, they've given us something we've never had before: absolute unity of purpose. Behind her, holographic displays showed the extent of the alien attack, the devastating efficiency with which they had destroyed humanity's achievements beyond Earth. In the 3 weeks since the attack, the world had changed fundamentally. Ancient rivalries had been set aside. The greatest scientific minds from every nation were now working together in a way previously unimaginable. In secure facilities around the globe, projects that had been theoretical were now receiving unlimited funding and resources. Dr. James Wong, formerly of MIT, now led the largest technological development initiative in human history. His team had made a breakthrough that would change the course of the coming war. In a secure facility beneath the Australian outback, he presented his findings to a select group of military and scientific leaders. The Zirikari's weapon systems operate on principles we've never seen before, he explained, manipulating a holographic display of the alien energy weapons. But their very advancement is their weakness. They've become so reliant on energy-based technology that they've forgotten something fundamental. Sometimes the simplest solutions are the most effective. The prototype he unveiled looked deceptively simple: a railgun that used principles of quantum tunneling to accelerate projectiles to near light speed. They expect energy weapons, Dr. Wong continued. Their shields are designed to deflect and absorb energy-based attacks. But these projectiles, they'll never see them coming. In orbit, the shipyards that had once built mining vessels and research stations were working at full capacity. The first ships of humanity's new fleet were taking shape. Vessels that combined the best of human ingenuity with lessons learned from studying the Zirikari attack. Sarah Chen, still bearing the physical and emotional scars of Europa, had become a symbol of humanity's resistance. She worked tirelessly with military strategists, sharing every detail she could remember about the alien ships. Her experiences, combined with data recovered from Europa's sensors, provided crucial insights into Zirikari technology. Their ships are beautiful, she explained to a team of engineers. But beauty can be a weakness. All that crystalline structure. It's perfect for channeling their energy weapons, but hit it in just the right spot. She didn't need to finish the sentence. The engineers were already modifying their designs based on her observations. The global transformation wasn't just military. Every aspect of human society was being reorganized for the coming conflict. Schools shifted their curricula to focus on sciences and technologies needed for the war effort. Industries were retooled to support the construction of the fleet. Even entertainment and media were unified in purpose, maintaining morale, and spreading information about the alien threat. 6 months after the Europa attack, the first ship of the new Earth Defense Fleet was ready for launch. The EDS Remembrance, named in honor of those lost on Europa, represented everything humanity had learned and developed. Its hull was made of new metamaterials that could absorb and redirect energy. Its weapon systems combined traditional ballistics with cutting-edge quantum technology. Most importantly, it carried the hopes and determination of a united human race. As the Remembrance rose from Earth's atmosphere, witnessed by billions on screens around the world, General Rodriguez delivered a message that was broadcast across every frequency, in every language. To the Zircari Empire, you thought you understood us. You thought you could break our spirit by destroying what we had built, but you failed to grasp something fundamental about humanity. We have never needed the stars to dream of reaching them. You destroyed our colony, killed our people, and believed we would cower in fear. Instead, you have given us a cause that has united our entire species. You thought you were teaching us our place in the galaxy. Instead, you're about to learn yours. The Remembrance's launch marked the beginning of a new era. Humanity was no longer divided by borders or ideologies. They had been unified by an attack meant to divide them, strengthened by an attempt to weaken them. As the ship disappeared into the depths of space, it carried with it humanity's message to the galaxy. We are coming. In secure facilities around the world, more ships were taking shape. Teams of scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to improve their designs, each breakthrough bringing humanity closer to technological parity with their adversaries. But their greatest advantage wasn't technological. It was the unrelenting human spirit that had always defined their species. The Zircari had made their judgment of humanity based on their technological level. They were about to learn that technology alone doesn't determine the outcome of wars. Sometimes, the sheer will to survive, to protect, to avenge. That makes all the difference. Captain Marcus Santos stood on the bridge of the EDS Remembrance, watching the holographic display as 50 ships of the Earth Defense Fleet moved into position. Each vessel represented the pinnacle of human military innovation, but more importantly, each crew carried the burning determination that had come to define humanity's response to the Zircari threat. All ships report ready, Captain, his XO, Lieutenant Sarah Chen, reported. After the Europa incident, she had insisted on being part of the first strike force. Her intimate knowledge of Zircari tactics had earned her rapid promotion through the ranks. Begin Operation Starcross, Marcus ordered, his voice steady despite the weight of the moment. This would be humanity's first major offensive against the Zircari Empire, targeting one of their primary military installations in the Proxima Centauri system. The fleet moved in perfect synchronization, using a revolutionary form of quantum entanglement communication developed by Dr. Wang's team. Unlike traditional communications, these couldn't be intercepted or jammed by Zircari technology. The element of surprise was their greatest advantage. The first sign that their approach had worked came when they detected Zircari ships scrambling from their orbital stations, too late to mount an effective defense. The crystalline vessels, so devastating in their attack on Europa, now faced an enemy that had studied their every weakness. Launch Operation Blacksmith, Marcus commanded. From the holds of Earth's ships, thousands of specially designed kinetic projectiles were released. Each one contained a quantum tunneling core that allowed it to partially exist in multiple dimensions, making it nearly impossible for Zircari sensors to track. The alien ships activated their energy shields, expecting the type of attack they had faced countless times before. Instead, the human projectiles simply passed through their defenses as if they weren't there, their quantum states allowing them to ignore the energy barriers completely. The results were devastating. The beautiful crystalline structures of the Zircari ships shattered under the impact of weapons they couldn't detect or defend against. Their own energy weapons, while still deadly, found fewer targets as human ships executed unpredictable maneuver patterns developed through thousands of combat simulations. Sarah Chen watched the battle unfold with fierce satisfaction. "They're trying to regroup," she noted, analyzing the enemy movements. "Their tactical doctrine is too rigid. They can't adapt quickly enough to our attacks." The space around Proxima Centauri lit up with the exchange of fire. Human ships took losses. The Zircari were still technically superior in many ways, but the ratio heavily favored Earth's forces. For every human vessel lost, 3 Zircari ships were destroyed. The battle's turning point came when the Remembrance executed the Chen maneuver, named after Sarah's analysis of Zircari ship behavior. By predicting the crystalline vessel's energy redistribution patterns, human ships could target their attacks at precisely the moment when the alien shields were shifting configuration. "Their command ship is attempting to retreat," the sensor officer reported. "They're preparing for a faster-than-light jump." "Not this time," Marcus said grimly. "Deploy the quantum anchors." This was another of humanity's innovations, devices that created localized distortions in spacetime, preventing faster-than-light travel within their area of effect. The Zircari command ship found itself trapped, unable to escape as Earth's fleet closed in. The battle lasted just under 4 hours. When it was over, the Proxima Centauri system had become humanity's first major victory. The Zircari installation was captured largely intact, providing Earth scientists with invaluable access to alien technology and databases. But the true significance of Operation Starcross went far beyond the military victory. For the first time, the Zircari Empire faced an enemy that could not only fight back, but could defeat them decisively. The myth of their invincibility had been shattered. In the aftermath, as damage reports came in and rescue operations began, Sarah Chen made her way to the ship's observation deck. Through the reinforced windows, she could see the debris of Zircari vessels scattered across space, beautiful crystalline fragments that caught the light of Proxima Centauri. "We did it, Mom," she whispered, touching the window. "We showed them what happens when they underestimate humanity." The victory at Proxima Centauri marked a crucial shift in the war. The Zircari, who had believed themselves to be teaching humanity a lesson about galactic hierarchy, were instead learning about human ingenuity and determination. Their rigid military doctrine, unchanged for centuries, was being consistently outmaneuvered by human tactics that evolved and adapted with every engagement. As news of the victory spread back to Earth, celebrations erupted across the planet. But in military command centers and research facilities, work continued without pause. This was just the beginning. The Zircari would adapt, would bring more forces to bear against this unexpected threat. Humanity needed to stay ahead, needed to keep innovating and surprising their enemy. The captured Zircari database revealed something that sent shockwaves through Earth's military command. The attack on Europa hadn't been an isolated incident. The Empire had a long history of suppressing emerging civilizations, maintaining their dominance through fear and overwhelming force. They had never failed before, but they had never faced humans before. And as the debris of their defeated fleet drifted through space, it was becoming clear that this time, they had chosen the wrong species to intimidate. In a hidden facility beneath the Himalayas, Dr. James Wong stood before a holographic display showing the latest breakthrough in human technology. The ship displayed in the projection seemed to flicker and shift, sometimes appearing solid, sometimes nearly invisible. "Project Phantom is ready," he announced to the assembled military leadership. "We've successfully adapted the quantum tunneling technology from our weapons systems to create something entirely new, ships that can exist partially out of phase with normal spacetime." General Rodriguez studied the display intently. "How effective is it against Zircari detection systems?" "They won't just have trouble detecting these ships," Dr. Wong replied with quiet confidence. "As far as their sensors are concerned, these ships don't exist at all." The first vessels equipped with the new Phantom drive system were smaller than traditional warships, corvette-sized ships designed for speed and maneuverability. They were christened the Ghost Fleet, and their mission was to take the fight deep into Zerkari territory. Captain Sarah Chen, promoted after the victory at Proxima Centauri, was given command of the lead ship, the EDS Spectre. Her experiences at Europa and in subsequent battles made her the perfect choice to lead this new kind of warfare. "Our mission isn't to engage in direct combat," she explained to her hand-picked crew. "We're going to be the knife in the dark, striking at supply lines, communication nodes, and strategic installations. We'll make the Empire look over their shoulder at every moment, never knowing where we'll appear next." The Ghost Fleet's first operation targeted a major Zerkari supply route. Sarah's ship led 4 others in a carefully choreographed attack. The Phantom drives allowed them to slip past the escort ships undetected, their presence completely hidden until the moment they opened fire. The Zerkari response was chaos. Their ships fired blindly into space, energy weapons passing harmlessly through volumes where their sensors told them human ships should be. The Ghost Fleet struck from multiple angles, their quantum-enhanced weapons penetrating shields with surgical precision before they vanished again into the void. Word of the attacks spread through the Empire like wildfire. Ships began disappearing without warning. Critical installations would suddenly explode, their defenses bypassed as if they didn't exist. The psychological impact was devastating. The Zerkari, who had always relied on their technological superiority, found themselves unable to defend against an enemy they couldn't even detect. But the Ghost Fleet's most significant victory came from an unexpected discovery. During a raid on a Zerkari research facility, Sarah's team captured data that revealed something shocking. The Empire's faster-than-light communication network relied on a series of quantum relay stations. These stations, hidden in supposedly empty systems, were the backbone of their military command and control. "If we can disrupt their ability to coordinate their forces," Sarah proposed to Earth's military command, "we can turn their size against them. An empire that can't communicate effectively can't maintain control." The operation that followed was the most ambitious yet. Ghost Fleet vessels, now numbering in the dozens, struck simultaneously at relay stations across hundreds of light-years of space. The Zerkari Empire, for the first time in its history, found itself fragmented and isolated. The impact was immediate and severe. Without faster-than-light communications, Zerkari fleet movements became uncoordinated. Regional commanders, unable to receive orders from central authority, made contradictory decisions. Some systems began to break away, seeing an opportunity to escape the Empire's control. On the bridge of the Spectre, Sarah watched as another relay station exploded silently in the void. "Send the message," she ordered. The same transmission was being broadcast by Ghost Fleet ships across Zerkari space. "You thought the galaxy was yours to control. Now you can't even control your own empire. This is the price of underestimating humanity." The Ghost Fleet's campaign had another unexpected effect. Other species subjugated by the Zerkari began to resist. Seeing the mighty empire brought low by human ingenuity gave them courage. Underground resistance movements, supplied with information and sometimes weapons by the Ghost Fleet, sprang up across dozens of worlds. Dr. Wong continued to refine the Phantom drive technology, making it possible to build larger ships with the same capabilities. The Ghost Fleet grew, its tactics evolved, and the Zerkari found themselves fighting an enemy that seemed to be everywhere and nowhere at once. The psychological toll on the Empire's forces was immense. Every shadow might hide a human ship. Every moment of silence could be the calm before an attack. The mighty Zerkari fleet, once the unchallenged master of the galaxy, found itself jumping at shadows. Sarah Chen, standing on her bridge as another successful mission concluded, reflected on how far they'd come. From the ashes of Europa, humanity had not only survived, but had evolved into something the Zerkari never could have predicted, an enemy that turned their own assumptions about warfare against them. The Ghost Fleet's operations marked a fundamental shift in the conflict. The Zerkari Empire, which had relied on overwhelming force and fear, now found itself overwhelmed by an enemy they couldn't fight in traditional ways. Their rigid military doctrine, designed for large-scale fleet engagements, had no answer for an opponent that struck from the shadows and disappeared before they could respond. As reports of zero-carry systems declaring independence increased, Earth's military leaders began planning the final phase of the war. The Empire was wounded, its communication networks in shambles, its forces scattered and demoralized. The time had come to deliver the final blow. But first, humanity would offer them one last chance to understand the mistake they had made in provoking Earth. The zero-carry homeworld hung like a perfect crystal in space, its surface covered in towering cities that captured and reflected starlight in dazzling patterns. Before it, the largest fleet humanity had ever assembled waited in formation. 500 ships, ranging from Ghost Fleet corvettes to the massive new dreadnoughts, represented Earth's full military might. Admiral Sarah Chen stood on the bridge of the EDS Phoenix, the flagship of humanity's fleet. The ship's name was symbolic. Like the mythical bird, humanity had risen from the ashes of destruction to achieve something unprecedented. "All ships report ready," her XO announced. "Ghost Fleet squadrons are in position throughout the system." Sarah nodded, her thoughts briefly returning to that day on Europa when everything had changed. "Send the transmission," she ordered. Across every frequency the zero-carry used, in their own language, humanity's message was broadcast. "To the High Council of the Zero-Carry Empire. Years ago, you attacked a peaceful mining colony, believing you were teaching humanity its place in the galaxy. Today, we've come to show you what that lesson actually taught us." The response was immediate. The zero-carry home fleet emerged from behind their world's crystalline moons, thousands of ships forming a defensive wall before their capital. Their numbers were still greater than humanity's fleet, but there was hesitation in their movements. The confidence that had once defined their military was gone. "They're transmitting a response," communications reported. The image of the zero-carry High Chancellor appeared on the main screen. The alien's crystalline features were arranged in what Sarah had learned to recognize as an expression of barely controlled fury. "You dare threaten us in our own system?" the Chancellor demanded. "Whatever victories you have achieved, you cannot hope to stand against the full might of the Empire here." Sarah's response was calm, measured. "We're not here to threaten you, Chancellor. We're here to offer you a choice, one your Empire never gave us, or any other species you've encountered." She gestured, and Dr. Wang's latest innovation activated. Throughout the system, quantum beacons began transmitting. On every screen, in every zero-carry ship and city, a recording began to play. The complete history of the war, from the attack on Europa to the present moment. "Watch," Sarah commanded. "See what your Empire's actions created. See how a species you dismissed as primitive took everything you threw at us and turned it into something new. See how your attempt to suppress us led to innovations your Empire, for all its age and power, never imagined." The recording showed everything. The development of quantum tunneling weapons, the Ghost Fleet's phantom drives, the way humanity had united in the face of extinction. It showed how Earth scientists had taken basic principles and developed them in directions the zero-carry had never considered. "Your Empire has stood for 10,000 years, Sarah continued, maintaining control through fear and superior technology. But you never understood a fundamental truth about sentient beings. True strength doesn't come from weapons or shields. It comes from the ability to adapt, to innovate, to look at defeat and see opportunity." As she spoke, Ghost Fleet ships were appearing throughout the zero-carry formation, their phantom drives deactivated to show just how completely they had infiltrated the defense network. The message was clear. The battle was already lost before it began. "So here is our offer," Sarah declared. "Surrender and join us in building something new. Your Empire's time of absolute rule is over. We've made sure of that. But your knowledge, your technology, your achievements, they don't have to be lost. Help us create a new galactic society, one built on cooperation and mutual respect rather than dominance and fear." The silence that followed seemed to stretch for eternity. Sarah could see the conflict in the Chancellor's crystalline features, generations of ingrained superiority warring with the undeniable reality before them. Finally, the Chancellor spoke. "And if we refuse?" Sarah's expression remained neutral. "Then we demonstrate exactly what humanity is capable of when we're forced to use everything we've learned. Your automatic defense systems are already under our control. Your communication networks can be shut down with a single command. And every Ghost Fleet ship in your formation carries weapons that can bypass your strongest shields." She paused, letting the implications sink in. "But that's not what we want. Humanity doesn't seek revenge or dominance. We want to prevent what happened to us from happening to anyone else. We want to build something better than an empire ruled by fear." The debate among the Zirkari High Council lasted 3 days. In that time, ships from other species began arriving in the system, representatives of worlds that had broken free during the war, drawn by the possibility of witnessing history. In the end, the Zirkari chose survival over pride. The formal surrender was signed aboard the Phoenix, marking the end of one era and the beginning of another. The document wasn't just a military victory. It was a blueprint for a new galactic federation, one where all species would have a voice. As Sarah watched the Chancellor sign the agreement, she thought about everything that had led to this moment. A simple mining colony on Europa, a child watching automated harvesters, an empire that thought it was teaching a lesson about power, and a species that refused to be broken. The transformation of the galaxy had begun. Already, teams of human and Zirkari scientists were working together, combining their knowledge in ways that promised to revolutionize everything from space travel to energy production. Other species were coming forward, sharing technologies and ideas that the Empire had suppressed for centuries. Humanity's victory hadn't just been about superior tactics or innovative technology. It had been about showing the galaxy a different way forward. The same determination that had driven them to survive, to fight back, was now being turned toward building something unprecedented. A genuine partnership of species, each contributing their unique perspectives and abilities. The stars, Sarah realized, had never been humanity's limit. They had only been the beginning.